Hey guys, welcome back to The Bright Side. Macy here, The Bright Side Girl, and today we're going to be talking about some mermaid, pirate, and ocean themed releases for 2025. I now put out quarterly videos every 3 months for all of the books that just look and sound awesome. There have just been so many that I wanted to share with you guys. So you can check out all of my most anticipated releases down below in the description as well as up in the cards. We have 2 up right now and I'm getting ready to film the next one. But this one I am doing separate for all of the mermaid style books because there are so many mermaid and pirate and islandy new releases this year. Specifically Mermaid and Siren. I have been so excited for it. There are so many, which makes me really excited because I host a mermaid, pirate, island, ocean themed readathon every year. I will link the announcement up in the cards as well as down below in the description in case you want to check it out. And we have the absolute best time. It's the biggest readathon that I host. I'm going to be building my TBR around the new releases because there are so many. Not only are there so many, there are so many that are being traditionally published because we get tons and tons of fabulous indie books that come out every year, but not always as many traditionally published ones. And there are so many that are done by bigger named authors that are more established that we kind of already know and love, which is even more thrilling. This is going to be a combination of young adult and adult, mostly Siren and mermaid books, but I am going to throw a couple of pirate or books that I feel like kind of fit the vibe in here as well. I believe all of these are going to be traditionally published books that are coming out this year. There are always a ton of mermaid and Siren and pirate indie books that come out. I'm actually going to be doing a mermaid book haul specifically for indie books that I have purchased and ones that are going to be in the upcoming giveaway. So if you're interested in indie books, stay tuned for that. So we're going to get started with some duologies where the sequels are coming out this year. All right, I am currently reading A Letter to the Luminous Deep by Sylvie Cathrall. I am still not sure whether there are mermaids in this one, but it has all of the underwater ocean nautical vibes that we want. So I'm very excited to check out the sequel once I'm done, which is A Letter from the Lonesome Shore. This one came out on May 6th this year. I'm going to read you the synopsis for the first book since I don't want to spoil the second one. So this is a charming fantasy set in an underwater world with magical academia and a heartwarming pen pal romance. A beautiful discovery outside the window of her underwater home prompts E to begin a correspondence with renowned scholar Henry Clell. The letters are filled with passion, at first for their mutual interest and then inevitably for each other. Together they discover a mystery from the unknown depths destined to transform the underwater world they love. A year later, E's sister Sophie and Henry's brother Varen are left to solve the mystery of their siblings' disappearance. So this one is told entirely in letter format, both handwritten and automated, so like emails. They're set a year after the events of what happened to Henry and E, and basically Sylvia and Varen are corresponding with each other via email and showing each other the letters that their siblings wrote to each other, because Varen has E's that she wrote to Henry and Sophie has Henry's that he wrote to E. There is a lot of jumping and there are times where E is writing to Sophie and vice versa. So I am doing the audio, which makes it a little bit trickier. However, it is a full cast or like a 4-person narrator, so I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to talk about it more in an upcoming video. Very, very like sweet and cozy, but definitely one you want to kind of take slow. So excited to see where this whole duology goes. Okay, another duology. We have the second in Lore of the Wilds. Now the first book I believe is like nature forest centered, and the second book is called Lore of the Tides and is coming out July 8th, and this one has me intrigued. I wasn't really interested in reading Lore of the Wilds. It's getting mixed reviews, but because of this second book I think I'll be trying to get to it sooner rather than later. So just know I think you do need to read them in order. I believe it's part of a duology, but I believe it is adult even though it looks YA. I know there's a library with a deadly enchantment, Fey Lord who wants in, a human willing to risk it all for the taste of power. So I'm not really sure what happens in the second book, but it looks like it's going to be like underwater Fey magic, so looks very cool. Next is Shadow and Tide by Rachel Greenlaw. So this is book 2 in the Compass and Blade trilogy. I think we're getting a third book next year. I thought this was going to be a completed duology, but I'm pretty sure we're getting a third book. This one came out on February 27th. So in Compass and Blade, which I recently reread and will be talking about in an upcoming reading wrap up, it is a treasure hunting pirate adventure. her. We're following Mira, and she is a wrecker. She helps people that have been shipwrecked on her isle. She's one of the wreckers. She swims out to the ships to save the survivors. But what they don't know is that her people actually set the beacons to lure the ships to the rocks, and they cause the wrecks. And they're essentially pirates and treasure hunters. When something happens to her father, she winds up going on a mission to try and save him. There is a romance in here, lots of adventures, lots of treasure hunting. It reminds me kind of Fable or Daughter of the Pirate King, if you like those kind of pirate YA books. This one is a little bit more serious, a little bit less like funny and lighthearted than those, but in kind of a great way. It's just really well written, really fascinating, and such a great pirate read. So excited to check out this second book. Okay, so next I have two pirate books that are coming out this year. We have Capitana by Cassandra James. This is the first in a duology. It is a pirate themed romantasy. I think it's YA, but I'm not entirely sure. This one came out on February 4th. We're following Zemma Real, and she has spent most of her life at La Academia training to become a cazador, a seafaring hunter who tracks down pirates. But her future is uncertain thanks to her parents' reputation. They were pirates, traitors to the Luzan Empire, and though they were executed when Zemma and her sister were young, they permanently damaged the Real name. Ability alone won't earn Zemma the coveted cazador cloak, so when the legendary pirate Gasparilla returns and captures the Empire's queen, Zemina, offers to bring her back and capture the notorious pirate in exchange for a cloak. But there's a catch. There's only one cloak, and Zemina's competition is Dante de Leon, an infuriating yet handsome classmate. Does sound like it's going to be a young adult. I do like the cover a lot. Then we have Ship of Spells by H. Leighton Dixon. I believe this is a Red Tower book for those of you that like that particular publishing. It is going to be like a deluxe edition with the pretty cover. I am anxiously awaiting for this to pop up on NetGalley, which is a place that you can get arcs to read in advance, like digital arcs. You can sign up and request certain arcs and build up your profile to get digital arcs if you want to read books in advance or just get some ebooks for free. I'm anxiously awaiting it to pop up on there because I really want to read this one for the readathon, and this one does not come out until I think like November 4th or something like that. I believe this is going to be adult. It's an adult romantasy. A shipwrecked royal mage in training wants to join the crew of her infamous pirate ship who rescued her. But first she must not only prove herself to the infuriating captain, but also to the sentient ship, the Ship of Spells that's bonded to him. Perfect. All right, then we have two diving / treasure hunting books. So no pirates or mermaids that I know of, but they'll work so good for the readathon and just for summer in general. I have this next one on order, but it hasn't come in yet. So we have Out of Air by Rachel Reese, came out on May 13th. The deeper you go, the darker you'll fall. Phoebe Phibbs Ray is never more at home than when she's underwater. On a dive 6 months ago, she and her 4 closest friends discovered a handful of ancient gold coins, rocketing them into social media fame. Now their final summer together after high school, they're taking one last trip to a distant Australian island to do what they love most, scuba dive. While diving a local reef, Phibbs discovers a spectacular underwater sea cave, rumored to be a lost cave with buried treasure. Perfect. So excited. I think this one is YA and it is a standalone. All right, now for one I own. That is the Amalfi Curse by Sarah Penner. This one came out on April 29th. I've been just so excited for this one. So this is the Barnes & Noble exclusive that I had to have because it's just so beautiful. So this is, I believe, an adult standalone. Powerful witchcraft, a hunt for sunken treasure, forbidden love on the high seas, beware of the Amalfi Curse. Haven Ambrose, a trailblazing nautical archaeologist, has come to the sun-soaked village Positano to investigate the mysterious shipwrecks along the Amalfi coast. But Haven is hoping to find more than old artifacts beneath the azure waters. She is secretly on a quest to locate a trove of priceless gemstones her late father spotted on his final dive. Upon Haven's arrival, strange maelstroms and misfortunes start plaguing the town. Is it nature or something more sinister at work? Diving, treasure hunting, one of the prettiest covers I've ever seen. Super pumped. All right, now for the Mermaid and the Siren books. We use that a little bit interchangeably. Sirens are always creatures or girls that can sing people or manipulate people with their voice in some way. They're not always mermaids like with tails. Oftentimes from mythology, they were half bird or half fish and half bird. Sirens can be a bunch of different things. I prefer personally the water mermaid version, but we're putting anything that's like a siren on this list as well. Okay, we have Voice of the Ocean by Kelsey Impechi. Hopefully I'm saying that right. This one came out on April 22nd. I believe Kelsey is a super popular YouTuber known for playing Sims. I could be wrong. Those books always make me a little bit nervous because I haven't had the best of luck reading books that are from YouTubers as of late, but it's Mermaid, so it's going on here. As the younger daughter of the Siren Queen, Celeste's life is tightly controlled. Desperate to prove her worth, she intends to join the Chorus, an elite group of Siren warriors. With her final test on the horizon, Celeste must finally gain control over her temperamental song. But when Celeste encounters a seemingly harmless ship helmed by the intriguing Prince Raiden Sharp, her path veers towards forbidden waters. Sounds pretty good to me. When the Tides Held the Moon by Vanessa Vita Kelly. This came out on April 29th and is getting fabulous reviews. So this is a adult historical fantasy with a male-male romance between a fisherman and a merman, and I've heard it is absolutely adorable. It's set on Coney Island. Benny Caldera knows an orphaned Baruca blacksmith in 1910s New York can't call himself an artist, but the ironwork tank he creates for famed Coney Island playground Luna Park astounds the eccentric sideshow proprietor who commissioned it. He invites Benny to join the show's eclectic cast and share in their shocking secret. The tank will cage their newest exhibit, a live merman stolen from the salty banks of the East River. I love when they have like a circus theme park element to them. I've heard this story is really sweet and possibly heartbreaking, so I'm excited to try it out. We have Woman in the Waves by Camille Booker. Not entirely sure when it came out, but I'll list it here. There's something sinister lurking in the waves. In 1921, in Widow's Peak, a gloomy fishing village on the south coast of New South Wales, 19-year-old Missy Green fills her days helping her fisherman father on his trawler and spending time with her grandfather, the town's reclusive lighthouse keeper. It's a dreary existence. Everything in her sea salt-soaked life is upended though when she glimpses something in the water, a mermaid ominously staring at her. This is just exactly the kind of thing that I love, so sounds amazing. Okay, next, another one that I own that is a Forgery of Fate by Elizabeth Lim. This one came out on June 3rd. I still need to read her other books. I have a few of them like Spin the Dawn and Six Crimson Cranes, which I've heard fabulous things. I actually didn't know that this was going to be Mermaid until the author was sharing more about it. This is a deluxe edition. I got it like on a buy one get one half off sale from Target. It's super pretty. We're following Truyen Sagai, forgive my pronunciation, didn't choose to become a con artist, but after her father is lost at sea, it's up to her to support her mother and her two younger sisters. A gifted art forager, True has the unique ability to paint the future, but even such magic is not enough to put her family back together again or stave off the gangsters demanding payment in blood for her mother's gambling debts. Left with few options, True agrees to a marriage contract with the mysterious Dragon Lord. He offers a fresh start for her mother and sisters and elusive answers about her father's disappearance. But in exchange, she must join him in his desolate undersea palace and paint a future so treasonous it could upend both of their mortal and immortal realms. So I'm not sure if she is a mermaid or a siren, but I believe there are some kind of mermaids in here. And then I found out that the page headers, so when she is above the water, the waves are above the chapter head, and then when she is under the sea, the waves are beneath it. So I just thought that was really cute. I don't know if this is going to be like mermaid focused, like it might just have mermaids in here. I don't think that she is a mermaid. I could be wrong. But we're going to check it out. All right, In the Veins of Drowning by Callie Cassidy. This is one of the only ones that I think might be an indie book. I'm not entirely sure. This is the first in the Siren Mage series. Comes out on July 15th. A monster is always slain. Imogen Nell is hiding from a cruel kingdom that believes sirens are monstrous, blood-hungry creatures. Hiding from a king and his captain who viciously hunt her kind. Hiding from her own alluring abilities by keeping herself from the sea. Imogen's bloodlust is dulled and her black wings remain hidden beneath her skin. We have a fantasy in here. She might not have like a fin. It might be more siren, but I know like the sea brings out her siren powers, so still works great. Another one I have ordered is Sea Change by Susan Fletcher. This is a YA standalone that is loosely based on The Little Mermaid. A girl torn between two worlds. Turtle is scavenging a drowned town when she saves a stranger's life. There's something special about Kai, an attraction she's never felt before. She would do anything to see him again. But Turtle can never truly be with Kai because Kai is normal and Turtle is one of the Mer, kids whose genes were illegally hacked before birth and now have working gills as well as lungs. Turtle lives on an old cruise ship with the other Mer in order to be close to the water she needs to survive. We have a science fiction mermaid book, which is more unique, and I'm really excited for this one. A Magic, Deep, and Drowning from Hester Fox. This is coming out on June 24th. An adult historical fiction standalone set in the Dutch Republic in 1650. One spring day in Friesland, 20-year-old Clara van Weeren is faced with an ill omen, a whale beached and rotting in the new day sun. But Clara doesn't believe in magic and superstition, and this portent is quickly dismissed when a proposal from a wealthy merchant arrives, promising Clara the freedom she seeks from her mother's overbearing rule. When her attempts at overseeing the household at the family estate leads to her chance encounter with a young man with russet hair and sparkling eyes, the color of the sea, she finds herself strangely drawn to him. As Clara grows closer to Martis, she must choose between the steady, gentle life she has been raised for and the man who makes her blood sing. So I'm assuming, because there's a tail on the cover, that there is mermaid stuff in here, but it just sounds really romantic and beautiful, so pumped. Next, we have one that doesn't come out till next year, but I'm going to share it on here because it is on NetGalley to request. I sadly got denied for it. My percentage is a little bit off for not having done anything in a while, but you guys can go and request it and see if you can get it. So this is by Rebecca Ferrier. The cover looks amazing. It sounds so good. It comes out sometime in January. This is a historical fantasy debut. The people of Port Sakatho are bound to traditions and the sea, living side by side with the spirits, the gods, and the monsters that inhabit the rollicking waters. When Kensa and her half-sister come across a dying sea beast on the Cornish shore, Kensa is quick to claim credit for the discovery, and in doing so steals the glory and her sister's position as an apprentice to the local wise woman. It seems an appropriate station for Kensa, who has always existed out of step with the others in the village. Yet to be a wise woman is to be alone, unmarried, childless, relied upon, and lusted after, yet never truly wanted. Kensa's only real company is her mentor, the wise woman Isolde. So I know there are like sea gods and sirens, I think pirates as well, and it just sounds so magical. Okay, then lastly, the two I am the most excited for. We have The Sirens by Amelia Hart. This one came out on February 13th. I've heard great things about Amelia Hart's writing and this cover. This is again, the Barnes & Noble exclusive. Ugh. Amazing. So they tried to drown our voices, but the sisterhood of the sea cannot be silenced. 2019, Lucy awakens in the middle of the night with her hands around her ex-lover's throat. Horrified, she flees to her older sister's house on the Australian coast, hoping Jess can explain the vivid dreams that preceded the attack, but she is nowhere to be found. Desperate for answers, Lucy finds and begins to read her sister's adolescent diary. In 1999, Jess is a lonely 16-year-old in a rural town in the middle of the continent, diagnosed with a rare allergy to water. She has always felt different until her young, charming art teacher takes an interest in her drawing, seeing a power and maturity in them and in her that no one else has. In the 1800s, twin sisters Mary and Eliza are torn from their home in Ireland and forced into a convict ship bound for Australia. Since their mother's drowning when they were girls, they feared the ocean, but as the boat bears them farther and farther from all they know, they feel the water calling to them. So, some kind of like back and forth timelines, and I'm just really excited to check it out. This one also came out on February 12th, and that is Upon a Starlit Tide. This is the original cover. My sweet sister got me this beautiful Owl Crate edition as a birthday present because I loved it so much. I believe this one is YA, but I could be wrong. It is a dark, enchanting historical fantasy combining elements of Little Mermaid and Cinderella into a wholly original tale of love, power, and betrayal. Saint Malo, Brittany, France in 1758. For Lucinda Leon, the youngest daughter of a wealthy French ship owner, the high walls of Saint Malo are more hindrance than haven. While her sisters are interested in securing advantageous marriages, Luz dreams of escaping her elegant but stifling home and joining a ship's crew. Only Samuel, Luz's best friend and an English smuggler, understands her longing for the sea, secretly teaching her to sail whenever she can sneak away. For Luz, the stolen time on the water with Samuel is precious. On a stormy night, Luz's plans are blown off course when she rescues Morgan Chantelaine, the youngest son of the most powerful ship owner in St. Malo, from the sea. Immediately drawn to his charm and sense of adventure, she longs to attend the glittering ball held in his honor of his safe return and begins to contemplate a different kind of future for herself. You know I love a Little Mermaid retelling. I also have wanted to read Kel's other book, After the Forest, which is a retelling of Hansel and Gretel that I've heard amazing things about. So in particularly, the most excited for this one. Okay, you guys, so those are all of the mermaid, pirate, siren books that are coming out in 2025 or have already come out. It's been a fabulous year, and honestly I keep finding more like every month or so. Hopefully these are all really good as well. I'll be reading quite a few of them for Mermaid Marathon, so stay tuned for my TBR. Make sure you check out all of my other mermaid, pirate, island, ocean, boat book recommendations. I will link down below in the description, as well as that readathon announcement. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at The Bright Side Girl if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time on The Bright Side.